right, folks, back on the Bossman show, friend of the show, Sacramento State Hornets coach David Patrick doing big things out there, 11-9 on the year. Coach Dave, what's up, man? How's things going out there in lovely capital California, Sacramento, lighting the beam out there, as I hear you got all say now.
I love it, man. Going awesome, man. Going awesome. It's finally the rain stopped and the sun's out. It's about 60 degrees out here, so life's good so far.
I hear that. So I've been asking, man, we got this job here, man. I want to set the tone, set a culture here. Hey, year one, 11-9 already. Talk about that so far, seeing you guys buy into your system, and getting you guys to play the right way as we head towards February into March here.
Look, it's been great. Obviously, since I spoke to you last, we've come a long way in terms of building the culture and having guys buy in. And I say this all the time. A lot of people say culture, but they don't know they don't really follow through with it. You know, and our culture is how you walk in a room, how you act, how you carry yourself, how you compete every day in the classroom and on the floor. And it's paying off. You know, I think our 11 wins so far is the most in the history of the program in terms of year one. And we got a long way to go in the season. You know, when I look at the league, you know, we're undefeated at home, which is a great sign. We've won some road games, which isn't always easy in year one. So the ball's going in the right direction, but we still got a long way to go. But in terms of culture and buy-in, the guys that stayed in the program are really bought into what we're doing.
And what fans should realize also is this, Dave, man, you played some very close games that went against you. We don't want, and they could have made the record even better. And what I say to that is, it's good to happen now rather than come March in Boise, you know. So learn from it now, and we can't get close game practice because it's not the same intensity. So having to execute when it counts, and with referees and another team, home or away, is going to teach these guys when it gets tight in Boise on what needs to get done. You know, when that scenario pops up again.
1,000%. You know, we've been in some situations, man, and you see it in the NBA, obviously, and even in college. We've been down on the road 26 and 28 points in the road. So a lot of teams would fold in and say, man, let's just move on to the next game. But we were down 26 Thursday, cut it to 2. We were down 26 a week ago on the road, or 2 weeks ago, tied it up. And so the resiliency of our group is great. And we've won some of those games too, because we were in some close games early. But to your point, man, this in any conference play, you know, close games are going to be what the game's decided on, even in conference tournaments. And so I'm glad we're going through it now, because like you said, there's nothing like doing it in game as opposed to practice play.
No doubt. And also it goes this another layer that I think fans will sometimes realize is that, hey, these are possession games here. It's not talent. It's not X and O's. It's really a free throw block out here, loose ball here, in and out here or there, you know, a setting the screen or moving pick. It's little small things that the box score doesn't capture, or the regular fan who's not in tune to the game can't see, that determines wins and losses. And even in your conference, the Big Sky, while Eastern Washington is 8-0, it's not that much different from them and the team at the bottom because of, I always mentioned, it's possessions.
No, it's one possession games, and we try to tell them the first possession of the game is just as important as the last possession. I think the lay fan just sees what happens at the end, where the shot goes in or somebody misses a block out. But that block out or that gamble defensively that you may do in the first half can come back to bite you at the end of the game, and that's growth. And when you look at a lot of these games, NBA, college, that's where games are won and lost. Silly turnovers, missed blockouts. You know, not making the extra pass, the easy play, not diving on the floor. And when they're one possession games, all those things matter.
No doubt. And I think there's coaching the right way, playing the right way. That's what that really means for me. As you know, I told you, I already talked last year that my dad's a coach. So all the things are in my head. So I see the game differently than most fans do, because I'm watching certain things. You know, they're like, oh, it went in. I'm looking for how was the gaps was what part of the court was taken away. We're playing half the court, what we're doing here. So, but it's like all those things matter. Gameplay discipline matters. Scouting reports matter. And how did you guys understand they need to improve their games, because the other team scouts too. You know, other team has you the shooters last year, can't shoot, lay off them. Same thing you do. They doing it about. So how do you beat your own scouts? How you go about that with your guys? Get them to see that part of the game as well.
Look, I think we talk about, if you label yourself whether you're a shooter or not, all the stuff we've done in the summer and the fall and your input into whether you make shots or don't in practice is going to show up in the games, and so if you're shooting at a high clip in practice, the other team, and you're probably going to have the license to shoot for us in the game, which means make shots. Conversely, the other team will have you as a shooter. If you're not making shots in practice, I don't damn the thing about, oh man, I make shots in games. No, you don't. And so let's work on it. But we try to, we give them data daily on their shooting. I'll just use shooting, for example, or data on their rebounding ability daily. And they know within our team, on the hierarchy, who the shooter is, who the athlete is, who the get back guy is. And then I think the biggest challenge for all players is knowing who you are. If you're a shooter, shoot. If you're a rebounder, rebound. If you're a defender, defend. And we use the data we use in practice to label, what you are. And so going into a game, we're hopeful that they know their roles and they can live up to when we're playing.
No doubt. Walk by your team is this DP is this man. You all don't really shoot as many threes as other teams do, and you win in the game. It's kind of an old school way of playing the game. It's not too many threes you shoot. You only shot on the year 139 threes the whole year. That's some teams way blow players their number, double your number, but you are winning games by doing it a different way. Talk about that as well. Not having to rely on the three ball just to win you games every night.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wish we could, but our team's not made up, like that. We are, I think we shoot a high percentage from three, other than this last road trip. But we like to play inside out as opposed to outside in, just because the way my team's built. When you get here year one, we got 7-1. Our post player is 7'1", 270. Our other post is 6'10", 240. Our three-man 6'9". So we're big, on the interior, especially for the Big Sky. So I think our advantage is in the post, whether we put the ball in the post and if it's one-on-one coverage, I think we can win that battle every night. And if it gets double teamed, I'm hopeful when we throw it out to our shooters and Patterson and Marks, they can make threes. So we try to play the quote unquote old school because we like to put the ball in the post first before we just launch threes, and some of that is what I inherited. Some of that's what I brought in the program and try to utilize our strength, which is the post.
I'm been reading a lot about Zach Chappelle. Tell me about that young man and what he's been to your team. I saw him got some player of the weeks here. So tell me about him.
Look, Zach's averaging 17 points a game for us. He's an holdover from the last staff, one of the guys that I inherited. But an unbelievable kid, and for I'm his fifth coach. Can you believe that? As a college player, he's been to San Jose State, had two coaches, came here, had two coaches now. I'm his fifth guy. And so for him to be around multiple coaches and have to learn different terminology, different roles, I think his role has increased for me because of his work ethic and because of his buy-in. And he's been tremendous for us. He shoots at a high clip. He's the third leading scorer in the league. He's made 3 or 4 game winners for us. He was national mid-major player of the week back in late December. So he's instrumental to us because he's a local kid. I call him Sacramento, because of his name Zach.
No doubt.
And yeah, but he embodies what you want in a student athlete. He's in grad school. He's a straight A student. But you want him, for me, you want your seniors to have great years, but somebody that's a holdover, that's bought in. You want him to be the guy that kind of has a good year in year one, and he's so far doing that for us.
No, I was kidding. Imagine having 5 coaches in 5 years of being a player. That just blows my mind. That's really that's a resilient kid right there. I'm a pretty chill dude. I don't know if I can deal with that myself.
No doubt, man. It could have been easier for me to leave again, right? When new coach, you don't know me, and an easy time to leave, but he didn't, and he's bought in, and there's sometimes I want to get on him in certain situations, but I'm also like he's still learning like what I want, and he's probably had to change that mode, 5 times in his career as a young kid.
Like you said, true knowledge is like learning a different language. Like you come in speaking French to him, like I'm used to it in English. This is French to me. So so I get it. You think sometimes you don't want to overthink things. I know playing football for me, having a new OC my junior year was like learning a whole new language.
Yeah, a new
I remember what a
playbook, and then
post
it's a new
was when
playbook.
this, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I
And
can
I'm
definitely get with Zach on that for sure.
yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, and we got a lot of them, right? I got 9 or 10 transfers, so it's different. You know, they're learning 10 different languages and how I want things done and how to act around me. You know, we had lost the other night on the buzzer at Weber, and we're at the airport, and I just walked up to the guys and was like, "Boo," you know, because they didn't know how to approach me. I'm like, man, dude, we lost, man, but I'm not the kind of coach to like not talk, you know. But I guess previous coaches weren't allowed to talk to, or you know, they were a little bit rough around them when they lost games, but that's not me, you know. So they're still trying to learn Coach Patrick in my ways.
I hear that, man. I also want to ask about Mr. McCray. I was averaging a double, pretty much a 10 rebounds a game, 11 points a game. So you say you have the length to do it on the inside. Look about like in the big skies, small league, a little faster, got guards here or there. But this kid, I'm gonna averaging double for you, making an impact both ends of the floor for you.
Yeah, look, he was in the top 10 in the country in rebounding going into this past weekend. And I've been fortunate to coach Callum before. Callum's with me when I was the head coach at UC Riverside as a freshman. Now I get him again as a fifth year senior. But he's a load on the block in terms of his size. He's a little bit a poor man's Jokic. Like he can get on the block. He can also play on the perimeter and a really good passer. But has great size and feel around the rim. I think he could average more than he's averaging, to tell you the truth, because he's somewhat unselfish at times in the post instead of putting that shoulder on guys. But a throwback, you know, a lefty that can really score on the post on both sides of his body, and a really good passer for his size.
No doubt. And what I like about your team is this DPs, this man. You go 8 deep already. You can really go 9 if you need to. And I think when you get the boys in a tournament situation, having 8, 9 guys, when guys get tired of their second night or back to back or that third championship game, hopefully if you get there, you need to have that depth to be able to throw guys out there and not run other guys to the ground on night 1 or night 2.
No, you're 100% right. And when we went on this road trip, I went deeper into the bench, and I learned this from Coach Porter Moser when I was with him in Oklahoma. Like, I got to look at this thing through a microscope, which is daily, and a telescope, which is the conference tournament. And the only way I can get my depth going is by throwing them in games now. You know, and some of these freshmen and Quadri Adams and Kier Dang have played more minutes for us lately, because I think we can go 9 or 10 deep and not lose a beat. You know, and that's my goal going into the conference tournament, because it's hard to play, you know, 3 nights in a row, even in the NBA with the best athletes in the world. So for our guys that don't have the same, you know, we don't have the same masseuses. We don't have any masseuses, by the way. So to have to have depth, I think, helps you later as March rolls around.
You need to call Ice Trey from Oklahoma and say, hey, man, donate us a masseuse. You got that big contract from the Hawks. Come on, Ice Trey.
I know, man. I know. I'm just waiting on one. I just need one pair of shoes for my man. I'm gonna reach out to his daddy though one time and ask him, can we get some shoes from Trey?
I hear that, man. You got a big game this week, man. Montana. Travis DeCutie does a great job up there for a long time. Man, talk about what you see those guys on the film as you get ready for this opponent here.
God, Travis, you said, is a good friend and a great coach, and somewhat dominated this league. He's been in this league 9 years and been in the top 2, probably 9 years in a row. But his team's physical. You know, we lay our hat on being physical. His team's physical and got 2 bigs in Bannon and Thomas that can really play. You know, so they're coming off a loss against Montana State, so you know they're hungry. On Thursday night we play Montana, and then Saturday we play Montana State. And Danny Sprinkle, who won the league last year. They won 23 games last year, and I think they're second right now in league. And so they're an NCAA tournament team. That'll be a tough challenge for us because we're big. They're probably bigger than us. And so that'll be another good challenge for us. At home, though, this weekend.
Hopefully the fans will come by and cheer you all on against my man Sprinkle. Sprinkle's been my guy on my man staff at Fullerton, Dietrich. But, you know, hey, I will be very neutral this week because I like both of them.
Oh no, we family. You know, the crazy part is we text each other after every game. You know, me, him, Diedrich, we all grew up together when we were starting off as assistants. And so, you know, the neat thing on this journey as a coach, man, is like we're all assistants making no money. You know, just trying to climb our way up the tree. And so, to see Danny doing well at Montana State, to see Trav, who I looked up to as a young coach in the profession, doing well to compete against your friends is great, and it's what you hope all young coaches can be in our shoes one day doing the same thing.
Now we'll ask you about two of you guys you signed in the period in November. Bowen Beatty, a center from Australia, and Mr. Nunn, a guard from Australia. Talk about those two young men. What they'll be bringing to you guys the Hornets next year, man.
Yeah, we're excited with first of all with Bowen Beatty. He's a 7'1", probably 7'2", 4'5", out of the NBA Global Academy and Center of Excellence in Australia. A very skilled athletic post, can play inside out. And the loss of Callum McRae at 7'1", it was hard to find somebody that big. I think Bowen's a little different because he can really run the floor well, really pass. We expected him to make an immediate impact for us as a freshman. And then, as you talked about, Bailey Nunn is coming in as a point guard from Australia. Just a heady point guard that can really make shots, can play in pick and roll. He's playing semi-pro over there now for the Knox Raiders. So he's played against men. And I think that the good thing internationally, you get these guys that have played against men. And so their freshman year really isn't their freshman year, like a lot of our U.S. kids. And so we're hopeful Bailey can come in and make some big plays for us next year.
No doubt, man. Well, I think it's going to time, DP. Man, I know it's a big week for you. Great time for me, man. I was enjoying our chats, man. I love Sacramento. I was just there, I told you off the air. I love coming there. I got a few friends out there, man. So hopefully we come out there next year. I can catch you. You'll be in town. But I know we got a trip coming up, West Coast trip. I go to Denver, Utah, Portland, Phoenix, and somewhere else.
Have you come to Golden State yet? You came to Golden State yet? No.
Yep, the 2nd of January.
Got it. So you already came to that swing. Well,
yeah,
I'm gonna catch you somewhere.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
If not if not here in the ATL, I'll come down there because I got to come see my guy. I was actually just texting with Amir at Kennesaw yesterday, so I got to come down and see y'all at some point.
No doubt. Well, hey, let me know, man. We'll get up, get some lunch together, man. Chop it up, break bread, man. But you know how it is. You coaching, I'm on the road. You coaching, I'm traveling, reporting. So we all busy as time of year, man. But it's the best job ever. Been around the game of basketball, being in the gym.
No doubt, man. Blessed to be able to be around sport. If the sport is our job, man, we both blessed.
You got there, right, folks. It's Derek Patrick, the Bossman Show. Hornets, Sacramento State, Big Sky, chip those guys, man. Best luck to you, my brother.
Thank you, man. Take care.
All right.